like a salutations, everyone. My name is Saturday, and I'm gonna be going for a walk while listening to some random ass dubstep, and I'm gonna be talking to you. Yes, you right there. Sorry, you. I forget you're on my chest, not looking at eye level. So we're gonna go for a walk, and I'll be back. And I'm just gonna be ranting and raving, talking about a few things. If the sound goes kind of out, that's because I'm outside, but I've got a little shotgun mic and all that stuff. Gotta turn off Death Days by Game Attack, which I like watching. And we'll talk once we get outside. And let's begin, shall we? Dead mouse. But anyhow, what to talk about today? Actually, turn the music down a little bit so I know if I'm talking too loud. But anyway, it's been a decent little week. School's shitty as always, but that's mainly because I deal with the super shitty school. But hopefully soon I'll be able to go to university because I got the grades for it. And honestly, I've had the grades for it ever since I joined that shitty ass school 6 years ago. But anywho, world's a weird place. In the end, things are always changing. Adorable little child. Never want one though. Nope. But this is just gonna be a little random ass video where I'm just gonna sit and talk with you guys for about 30 minutes about life and how it goes and how life's going for me as I take a walk. And pretty much every time I take these walks, it's gonna be around the same area. So eventually I may throw in some extra stuff. But for right now, it's just gonna be this little 30-minute walk I take. It's about 4:49 now. Probably back around 5:20. Go up by the school I went to as a child. I continue walking around that way. Like I said, it's been a decent week. Went to a couple jobs, interviewed, and I ended up, I'm going to be going Wednesday, the 29th, where there will be a lot of more jobs. Hopefully it'll be a nice little job fair. The last few ones have been utter shit. Like, here, come work at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Still, that's one of the jobs I refuse to do is go work at fast food. I worked at Edwards, and that was shit. I can't imagine fast food would be even close to being as good. Hey, this house here is where a friend of mine used to live. Probably her parents still live there. I think she moved on to college and moved on to greater things. Good for her. She was a really nice girl. But, anywho, times change. Many people I used to call friends, we haven't talked in years. I still consider them as friends, but in all honesty, they don't think of me as a friend. Very few people do nowadays. I mean, in the end, I ain't a good friend. And in the end, times change, so do people. I haven't really changed over the years. Well, a little bit. I'm not as near as depressed as I used to be. No, I'm not so much the Prince of Darkness I used to be. As I say, wearing black sweatpants and a black t-shirt. But, do I feel different? Yeah, I do. I gotta mess with this harness, this little tight in the chest. But things change. I love how people, as I've done these vlogs before, never really posted any of them. There was, I always felt subconscious about it. These people keep looking at me, they see a camera and they're just like, oh, what the fuck is he doing? I was like, oh yeah, I forget. Even though I know this stuff is normal, like people doing vlogs while walking and stuff like that. Not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people like the fact of you walking around with the camera on your chest, thinking that in public they have a note to privacy, which you really don't. Not anything else. But things change. Things will change. Oh, my neck. One day I will get that surgery. Sorry, music coming on. Don't know what music it is. Oh, that one. I wanna be a Yeah, day and night. That's one of the things. I never literally like rap music. That's one of those things where all you have to do is talk. Have the lowest amount of effort into it. Add it rap to EDM a little bit is a little bit better. Still crap though, because most rappers can't sing for shit. It all comes down to the people making the music behind them. But in the end, times change. Hopefully people change as well. But no, I actually used to live in this house. Used to live in that house a while ago, many years ago actually, I think 8, 10 years ago maybe. And then we moved to the house that we're in now. And then it burned down, and then we rebuilt it. Luckily, all the important stuff was fine. Baby tapes, family pictures, mom's bridal dress, that kind of stuff. Pretty much all the stuff that burned was crap. Well, I wouldn't say crap. I would say mostly stuff that no one ever used. Ugh. Yeah, I really gotta fix this harness. Man, this song is crap. At night. Yes, day and night remix, you're crap. Thumbs you down. Maybe this one will be a little bit better. But, it's one of those things. If you have the grades, fuck community college. Because most of the time it's shit. Go to an actual university. I know it's a bit more expensive. Try to apply for financial aid. Work your ass off. Get the money. Go to community college. No, don't go to community college. What am I saying? Don't go to community college, or go to an actual university. And never go to one of those like DeVry places. That's utter crap. As I've realized after like 6 years of going to my community college on and off, well, I'd say like 4 years. First year was utter crap. I didn't know what I was doing. Took a year off. Went back for like 2 years. Changed my major like twice. And I've been basically, I did my welding stuff. Got all my certifications, but of course, the problem with welding and other places like that, move this around a little. Problem with other places like that, they don't give a shit about your certifications. They just want to know how much work experience you have. Which is, I knew that partly, but my dad being who he is was like, you gotta get an education. Oh, I like this song. There was a time. But things change along the way. Things change along the way. It's sad how a place like that works, because I got all my certifications, and then when I went to try and find jobs, I was shit on because they basically said, oh, you don't have a number of years working here. I was like, well, what about for an entry-level job? It's like, oh, 3 years. I was like, how the fuck do you get 3 years for an entry-level job, you fucktards? Which after I quit one place, that's basically what I told them. I told them that it was unreasonable to expect someone, they look a shitbag. Don't you worry, child. Take this time to play it for you. Don't you worry, child. Yeah. I don't know the song too well, but as I was saying, basically, I went to several places that saying, hey, beginner jobs for welding, and they wanted 3 years experience. And after they told me I didn't have the experience for it, I asked them, like, well, how the fuck do you expect a beginner to have 3 years experience? It's a catch-22. And they couldn't give me an answer other than, that's just the way things are. And I was like, well, that's why you're hiring. I asked them, how long have you been hiring? There's like 6 months. And I told them, like, that's why you haven't had a fucking job. That's why you've had no one to fill the job, because your bullshit practices. They, of course, didn't like that. At that point in time, I didn't give a fuck. They weren't going to hire me anyways. So why the fuck should I give a shit? So stuff like that kept happening. I went to one place and they ended up hiring me, but the problem was their PR department told me a bunch of stuff like, hey, we can hire you. We got a place where you can practice after you're done working, and within a month, even since you've got all your certificates, we can have you test for They had me working as a welder's helper. They said within a month, after a month, we could have you welding as an actual welder. Well, the school had been shut down nearly 3 years ago. And when I asked the foreman about the welding shit, he basically laughed and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I told him what the PR department said. And he got right up pissed off. Like, I mean, he was angry. Because here I was, I did as I was told, I worked hard, and I told him, look, I'm not staying here if you can't give me a job as this, which your PR department promised. And he was like, great. So he went and had a talk with them, and he said he couldn't change it. So then so literally like a week later, I went to another company and said, oh yeah, we'll hire you right now, $10 an hour, 55 hours a week. We're within 20 minutes of where you live. And I was like, oh hell, sure, I'll stop there. So I quit. I gave them my 2 weeks and I never showed up again. And they were actually impressed that I even gave 2 weeks, because most of the time people just leave. Which I was like, yeah, with the bullshit you're pulling, I'd imagine. And then I went and worked for that one company and nearly broke my back 2 weeks later. And I was told by my doctor, I can't weld for I can't do a welding job for 2 years, like an actual corporate welding job. And I realized it's truly sad, because I liked welding. It was actually a decent job. Because that's the one thing the problem is with me. I hate dealing with fucking idiots. Camera a little. I hate working with idiots. I hate it. It sickens me. That's the problem is I'm good at retail. I am good at retail. I hate it. Because that whole bullshit of, hey, the customer's always right. No, fuck you. I learned that at Edwards. And our employer at Edwards told us that. I was like, no, the employee's right more times than the customer, because the customer doesn't know jack shit. And he was right. Any customer who really asked me questions about the food I was giving them didn't know fucking anything. Let them go first. It's a nice thing to do. Plus, I can enjoy this breeze a bit longer. But no, as I was saying, there were several times at Edwards where I straight up told the customer they were wrong. Like, or I straight up refused to give the customer information. And then the customer was like, well, I deserve that information. I'm the customer, you have to tell me. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, one of them was, one lady wanted to know how many kernels of popcorn were popped in her bucket. I mean, come on, lady. No way in hell I'm going to be able to tell you that without taking forever. I like that song, so I'm going to give that a like. Let's see, what do we got next? Leave the world behind. Sounds like shit. Oh, Summertime Sadness. I like that one. But, basically, it's that one thing that I know a lot of customers don't want to hear, but most of the time they're wrong. And what annoys me more than anything is when they treat the individual in retail like they're not a person. Over my times in retail, I've had plenty of people come up to me and try and treat me like I'm some automated service who bends to their will. And there have been several times that I've straight up told them, no, I'm a person. If you don't want to treat me as such, I'm not going to serve you, because that's my right. I can refuse you service. And a lot of the times, it happened at the lower end jobs. Like when I worked at a much higher up retail store, people didn't treat me like that because they paid a ton of money at that store, mostly because of the customer service. There was only 2 situations during the entire 2 years I worked there that someone came in with an attitude, to the point that I had to refuse service to them. Other places, hey, I worked there a year, I was served I've had situations where I've had to call managers to get shit done. One of them, which was an actually very disturbing situation, one of the girls who was working next to me, she had to refuse service, and the dude tried to punch her in the face. So what did I do? It's one of those things, just by reaction. I reached across the counter, grabbed him by the face, and bounced his face off the counter. He got all upset, but hey, I was defending a coworker while you tried to assault her. So, yeah, of course. He got an assault charge filed against him. It's just stuff like that that's so annoying. So that's why, because like the reason I did welding is because I can do welding. I can do it. I put the effort in, I can easily do it. I did TIG welding. I spent 3.5 hours. Sure, it took me a little bit longer, but because I was sick, I still have the shoulder and neck injury I had during that time back in 2016. I've still got bad shoulder injuries. No, it was 2015. Holy crap, the time flies by. But yeah, no, I have a shoulder and neck injury I've had since like 2013. Never got it done, never got fixed. I did 6.5 months of welding training. I still passed. I got all but one certification. That was in MIG, and the reason for MIG is because literally it was to the point that I was vomiting, and I just passed out, and I just couldn't do it anymore. But I pushed myself to that. So what ended up happening was, it's one of those things that annoys the hell out of me. You give me a job, you leave me alone, I'll do it. You want to micromanage me and do all this stupid crap? Because the one job that I had my back problem at was, sorry, but a bunch of the guy who ran the company, I don't think he was the CEO or anything. I think he was like the guy who managed that whole area of the business, Indian. All of the little micromanagers, Indian. And they kind of seem to expect to treat us like you do people in India, where you work them to death and they don't expect a single complaint. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're not in India anymore. We're in America. And while I understand there are a lot of people who won't be willing to do jobs, or it's going to cost you more to do a job here, well, they lost like 40% of their fucking workforce because they treated everyone like property, like a piece of equipment. And the problem was, they were horrible. They were horrible at their jobs. They would walk up, start asking us questions about stuff that meant nothing, trying to act all as if they knew everything, and we would just literally look at themselves like, and that was a big thing. They didn't like me. My manager liked me. The guy who was training me loved me because I would be the one who would call them out on their shit constantly. Because that's the way I am. And the whole thing was, I wouldn't call them out on their shit if I didn't know about it or if I thought I was right. No, I'd call them out on their shit if I knew I was right. Like when they sat there, one of the upper management fucked up on an order that needed like 2,500 pieces done in a month. And they put it to the side and they never set it out. So in 2 days, 2.5 days, we had to have it done in 2 days. We got it done in 2.5. The guy who did the order came up and was angry at me and the guy who was working and the guy who was training me, because the Indian fucks had told him it was our fault. And while the guy who was training me was very nice and polite about it, I eventually pulled him aside and said, no, oh hell no, because he was getting yelled at. And this guy was a great guy. He worked hard. He bled for that company. So I pulled him aside and I went up to the guy who had done the order, who actually ordered all the pieces, and I told him, no, it wasn't our fault. We got it 2 days ago. We did it in 2.5. And I told him, because at that point in time, both the guy training me and myself were coughing blood because we had put our faces in those chemicals because the machine was broken. And my back, that day when he came in was the day after we got it all done. I couldn't feel my back because I was on so many painkillers and muscle relaxers. And that was the day I quit. That was the day I left. I told him, I tried to be polite and say I'm gonna go train somewhere else. And when the floor manager came out to fire me, he pulled me aside. I was like, well, why did you even apply here? And then I told him what had happened. I told him the fact that my doctor had told me I ripped several muscles in my back. If I were to work here another day or two, I could, I survived. I was very lucky not to get a crippling injury or even a fatal one. And if I worked here, because the whole thing was, the very next day we got all that shit done, they had another fucking order that had gone behind. So I told him, like, no, I can't do this. I'm gonna end up in a wheelchair or dead. Hell, and so I told him, I was like, look, and I pulled him aside and I told him that. And he looked at me and he asked me, well, why didn't I say that? I was like, because a lot of people I knew there were good people. And I didn't want them getting in trouble. And if I had filed that with like OSHA or something, they would have been shut the fuck down. Because I only worked there like 2.5 weeks, but it was the most miserable 2.5 weeks I had ever done. There were so many health violations there. Yeah, when after 2.5 days, 2 people are coughing up blood and one of them had a near fatal back injury, you'd be shut the fuck down. Or at least I'd hope as much, but at the same time, I don't know anymore. Government can be bought out at any point in time. I mean, just look at how ISPs are now able to sell your internet history. And at the same time, they're able to charge you for internet and charge for ads on it, along with bottlenecking, which is what they do to companies to get them to work correctly. Like, hey, you want people to be able to get your content as easily as possible? You're gonna have to pay us money. So, that's utterly disgusting. Yeah, at this point in time, I have no faith in the United States government. Look at Flint, still not resolved. It's at the point where you could probably drink it. It's at the legal level, but at the same time, I would never touch that damn water. Which means people have to pay more money. It's so utterly disgusting. People are walking around yelling about gender politics and fake racial bullshit. Yeah, I know there's still some racial bullshit, but it's not even like a 1/10, I would say, as bad as they're making it sound to be. All I have to do is look around. Look at the school I did welding at. Most of the teachers there, black. Guy who owned and ran the school, black. Most of the guys working there, black. It's that whole thing of the race shit is nowadays mostly caused by people who claim they're being abused. By mostly people who call, like a BLM. They're throwing up shit everywhere. Look at a number of the stories of, yeah, and I will admit that one idiot girl, white girl, claimed she was raped. Turned out to be fake. How many Muslim and black cases have turned out to be fucking fake that have caused riots? I can tell you right now. Do I believe this whole thing? White people most likely react to fear. It's more along the lines of, I'm not gonna fucking take to the street and claim, oh, all black people are evil. No, I'm gonna sit in my home, be more afraid than anything. Versus, as far as I can see, no, I'm not gonna make up percent because I don't have enough information on that. Actually, no. Yeah, no, but it's just more along the lines of, I'm seeing, switch the roles, shit wouldn't be the same. Shit wouldn't be the same. Like back in the 90s, how they were always saying, oh, if it was a white girl who got raped, shit would be up in arms. Yeah, okay, shit would be up in arms. But at the same time, it wouldn't be this fucking violent and full of retarded dumb fucks. You want to throw a riot? I don't understand why police aren't out there busting your ass. You're throwing a riot. You're breaking other people's shit. You want to pull that shit down here, where I live, you're going to get fucking shot. Store owners will pull out guns and fucking shoot your ass. And I won't feel bad about it. Because in the end, it's your decision to go riot and break their shit. It's their right to defend their stuff. I can tell you right now. Say 10 people walk up to my house. Doesn't matter what color they are, doesn't matter what ratio of color they are. It could be 3 white, 3 black, 3 Hispanic, 1 Asian, or any variation, I don't care. They try to break in, they're all getting shot. I'll have no problem, and I will not differentiate. The first one who breaks that window is gonna get shot. First one who gets into my house is gonna get shot. So it's one of those things. You wanna cry, you wanna whine, you wanna bitch, you go right ahead. Whoop, sorry. Shit like that don't fly with me. I don't look at you by your skin color. I look at you by your actions. I look at you, I don't give a shit about your religion, your gender, any shit like that. You wanna be a piece of shit? I'm gonna think of you as a piece of shit. You wanna be a good person? You're a good person. You wanna be an average Joe who just tries to go about his daily life? Right ahead. I could not give a fuck. I could not give a flying fuck. So it's one of those things. In the end, we're all people. In the end, fuck your bullshit. Ooh, I love this one. Zed. The League of Legends World Cup one. I love that one. Between your eyes. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Entire stage. But that's the thing. People are people. That's the end of it. So in the end, you want to whine, you want to bitch, and you don't got facts to prove it, then you're just whining to whine. You ain't got shit. Win or die. Win or die. Win or die. Die, 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 die. It's like a spark to an open flame. Now destiny's calling out your name. So ignite, so ignite. Ignite. But in the end, we're just people. I don't see you as anything but. I don't give a fuck about anything you got. Your financial status. I look at both the presidential elects. I don't give a fuck that they're both last presidential elects. I don't give a fuck about their age, their financial status, their gender, their race. They're both shit. Utter fucking shit. And neither of them should be allowed within 1,000,000 miles of that presidential. No, well, it's 25,000 miles, I think, across the world. Whatever. They should never been allowed within. It should have been, hey, why don't we elect these people? And then everyone just start laughing, crying, slapping their knees, going, oh, that's funny. And then if they said, oh, you're serious? And then they would have literally just slapped the shit out of them, like, no. Through your eyes, there's only 2 options, live or die. I've actually taken that to heart now. Die, win or die. I'm gonna win in my life. I ain't gonna die. Go to the gym, become stronger, and hell, you have problems going to the gym? You think everyone's looking at you? Put on some goddamn good music and sing to it. I do that all the time. People leave me the fuck alone. Because they know I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit about their opinion, what they think of me, none of that shit. I'm gonna dance, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I couldn't give a fuck. And at the same time, don't feel bad about being vain. Vanity is one hell of a motivator. So that's that whole thing, yeah. Kids, gotta be quiet now. Actually, I do like this song. What song is this? Ooh, Outside. Every day I'll be watching you. Onions is like feeling on the outside. But anywho, going about children, why I went quiet. It's one of those things, my parents raised me to the best of their ability. And I'm an insane fuck. Who, really, in all honesty, probably should have, if it wasn't for them and the good friends I've had, who most of them I'm not friends with anymore, which, like I said, I don't blame them. I'm a psychotic fuck who is very hard to get along with at times. Why ruin their lives just to be around me? So in the end, do you need help, ma'am?
The yard man's supposed to pick up the garbage and, pick up this can and take that stuff with him, and he didn't do it anymore.
Is that your trash can? You want me to help you with that?
No, just think.
All right.
But thank you.
No problem, ma'am. You have a good day. But yeah, that's one of those things. Parents raised me to be a good person. I'm gonna be a good person as best as I can. I ain't gonna curse around children. It's not real. I don't even think I'm just cursing. It's adult language. A child does not need a child does not need to hear adult language. I will never curse in front of a child unless in pain. And then that's just, ouch. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm in pain. Nice little house. Yeah, if it was a decent price, I'd like to get it eventually. Nice little place in Houston. Actually, I'd love to move into Austin. Why Austin? Well, the hope to one day work at Rooster Teeth. I know I suck at making Let's Plays. I suck at editing. But at the same time, most of the videos I ever made were just cut, paste, done. Because I don't know what's funny. Because I can't look at another person's perspective. A lot of dark, evil jokes that people are like, you can't say that. I'm like, why the fuck not? That's funny as hell. I know you're gonna see my arms a lot in this video, but it's one of those things. I just am who I am. I ain't gonna fucking change because you feel your feels are violated in any way or form. Did I tell you to go kill yourself? Did I legitimately tell you to go kill yourself? And not because you're some worthless piece of crap who believes others should bow down to you. You believe others should bow down to you. You're detriment to the gene pool. Darling, no. Watching. That's another good song I like. Don't know the name of it. Don't know the person who wrote it. That's the thing about me. I don't know anything about these people. I just know the songs. Barely. Oh yeah, stole the show. That's one of those things. In the end, you just gotta be yourself. Try to please everyone. You'll end up wanting nothing more than to kill yourself. That's why I'm going to college. Again. I've gone to people. What? It's one of those things. I've much lately told teachers what I think of them when they get upset when I don't pay attention to their hour and 45-minute lectures on crap. Yeah, kid's far enough away. But that's the whole thing of at least we stole the show. At least we stole the show. But it's one of those things, I don't care no more. I'm 27 years old. Doctors, therapists, psychiatrists have asked me, how the fuck you still alive? It's simple. I got a good family, I've had good friends, and I'm a stubborn fuck. Sure, alcohol's helped a lot. Because meds are worthless in the long run for me. For me, I'm saying that for me. Some people, they may be good. For me, they're absolutely fucking shit. They're too expensive. Why the fuck should I buy meds that cause me to be more depressed, cause me to be angry, cause me to lose all my emotion, when I can simply, for like, what, 50 to 100 to 200 bucks, when I can simply buy a $12 bottle of vodka, $5 even. And I've got and this whole thing, I'm not a depressed drunk. Sometimes I am, but very rarely. Most of the time, I laugh my ass off. I find shit that makes me laugh. It's one of those things. Yeah, I'll go. I take my walk. I go to the gym. I get stronger. Because the dream is, I'll be happy one day. That's all I fucking want. I don't care if I'm famous or not. I just want to be happy. I want to be at peace. And in the end, it ain't too hard. For most people. Well, actually it is. Nowadays, inflation's gone up, but not the minimum wage. Which is fucking bullshit. I don't believe in Trump. I don't believe in Clinton. I don't believe in any of these fucks. They can all go fuck themselves. Because they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. They give a fuck only about themselves. And in the end, that's all that'll ever happen until we, the American people, kick them in the ass and remind them who they actually serve. I've asked people before, if I started up a campaign, would they follow me? Most of them said no. Because I'm a psychotic fuck, like I said. Excuse me. And in the end, as a psychotic fuck, all I can do is sit and wait for someone else to do it. Wait for the next Martin J. Luther King. And that's what I will do. Maybe once I get my master's, I'll wave that in front of their face and go, hey, this psychotic fuck's got a master's. So we'll see how that goes. But in the end, I'll wait. We're right about back around my street. Oh. Nice little walk. Bro, it's not hot enough yet. It'll be soon. Once it does, it's gonna be the YMCA for me every day instead of this. Because, holy fuck, I cannot imagine this much hotter than it is now because humidity here is fucking awful. Them cars. What? In the end, everybody, that's this little Memoirs of Madness. It's a little random one. I don't really know. That's me rambling. May put this as Memoirs of Madness. It's a nice little memoirs. Me giving my opinion on stuff that's been going on. But, whatever. Last time, Take Over Control, featuring Eva Simmons. Seems like a nice song. And I think that's where I'm gonna end it. So everyone, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you all later. Remember, if you want to hear more memoirs, like and subscribe for more. Bye, everybody!